Hello, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to the Beyond the Surface podcast. I'm Sneh Zondo.
And I'm Sissy Poor.
And yeah, let's get to it.
What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about...
All the single ladies, all the single
Hey.
ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies.
Now put your hands up. Today we're talking about singleness, singlehood, our lives.
But before
experiencing
we
singleness.
start, just let everyone know where they can find us, listen to the podcast, and also watch it.
Okay, so we are on all streaming podcast platforms. And we're also on YouTube on Beyond the Surface podcast. In the description down below, you'll find all our links to social media, etc. Also on YouTube, like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that notification dun the bell. And then Instagram, we are Beyond the Surface pod. Follow us on there.
Yes, and please be part of the conversation. Drop your comments.
Yes, share your experiences.
Engage. So, singleness, singlehood. So, I wanted to firstly just address, some stuff I've been seeing.
Are there elephants in the room?
Yeah, that we just gotta bulldoze.
Okay.
And the first one is really a common thing that I'm seeing about how, we tend to demonize being single and make it seem like it's a wrong thing or like you are an incomplete human being if you're not in some kind of romantic relationship. And I think that's very detrimental.
Fraud.
It's
a lie.
Yeah. It's not good. Yeah.
I think I can agree with that, but I think it also just stems from fairy tale life and things that we're told as kids, growing up about this fairy tale life of one day being married to Prince Charming or one day meeting a wonderful princess, a queen, and living happily ever after. We're all sold that dream, and I think to a certain extent we are afraid of being alone. Afraid of dying alone, afraid of just experiencing life alone. I think,
and that's fair. And that's fair. And I think the reason why I was raising that, I think I sometimes notice that we seem to sort of trivialize other relationships that are not up to the same standard as we hold romantic ones. So it's like, your friendships, not that important, even family or general community, that we're part of. I think there's different ways of experiencing companionship outside of that setting. While I understand and can relate, to the idea of you want to share your life with someone. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think we should, see the journey of life as wholesome with or without a significant other.
Exactly. And I can agree with that. I think also one thing is to say that we're not all called to be married. We're not all called, for the ministry of marriage. Some of us are called to minister, as a single. And there is so much time that a single person has. There's so much things that they can do. Just as a single, just because of the fact that they're not with someone, they just, there's a lot that they can do with life.
And just enjoying it, and I think sometimes because we're so obsessed with being coupled up and all that stuff,
it's cute though.
It is very cute and it's lovely and it's amazing, right? But I think you can, especially as a young person, you can rob yourself of so much.
True.
Always trying to chase, when am I going to be in a relationship? When am I going to, right? And actually not spend time with yourself.
Enjoying life.
I think, and that's so important too. It's part of character development, No, it is. And I think sometimes, just always wanting to, post pictures or whatever is cute. But I think that's not all life is. There's so much more. Just self-discovery, just spending time with yourself and all that stuff.
Yeah, getting to know yourself, introspecting and growing. Those are important things.
Yeah. And I just talking about my experience, I think for me, I was like, I didn't feel pressure. I mean, like, I'm not married, but I am in a relationship, a committed one.
Yeah.
And I think before I got to this stage, like, I was super ready for it by the time it happened, right?
Okay, well, Sissy boy, let's not.
No.
You were. I think in this aspect of life, I think you were very chilled. I think
Yeah.
I was chilled, but I wanted it like ASAP.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I have a timeline. I mean, girl, who doesn't have a timeline?
That's true. And that's true.
I mean, not that
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good. I mean, my timeline I've had to extend. It's okay, but I'm just saying. I think I, as a single, before I was also in a relationship, I think I wanted it so bad because I also just wanted it to fit into my life and this life plan that I had. And I think it was at the point where I stopped doing that that I think I just got to enjoy life a bit more. And just enjoy my freedom.
And it's good. No?
No, it's good. I think just getting into it. I mean, I think 90% of my life was a single. I didn't date much. Not much. I didn't date. Look at me. I did not date. Like, I didn't date, have a boyfriend. So for me, it's just like, I wanted it so bad.
Yeah, I get it. And I think...
And I wanted it so bad. I don't think even for myself. I just think that it was like not a pressure thing. I wanted to fit in. I wanted also to be liked. I wanted someone to crush on me. I wanted somebody to text me. I wanted all of that. And I kind of felt left out as a little kid. I wanted that like moment. Even in university, like I wanted that, but I never had it. And a part of me is grateful that I didn't experience all of that, because I think my university experience is one that was really shaped by friendship and shaped by sisterhood. And I think that's what I needed, because I didn't have that, in high school. So I'm not mad at it. And I think it protected me from a lot also. It protected me from a lot of hurt that I could have experienced. So I'm not mad at the fact that I didn't, date and stuff in university. And it's something that I've only experienced now in my late 20s. But yeah, I can relate to wanting to be in a relationship.
Yeah. I'm curious to know, like, what do you think, like, you learned, from
myself,
from wanting a relationship or feeling pressure to want to be in, and it being like delayed till this time? Like, do you feel like you're more prepared for it? Like, are the things that you're like, since you're saying you're glad that it didn't happen at the time you wanted it. Yeah. So how would you say, like...
I think I needed to go on a journey of self-discovery. I needed to understand myself better. I needed to live. I think I had a lot of growing pains to go through, and I still am going through some stuff. But I'm just saying, like, I had a lot of growing to get through. I had a lot of patience to learn, and I think these are a lot of things that I learned, in my my friendships as well. It's just like being patient with people, learning how to speak to people, learning how to be a decent human being without just hurting someone. I also just had time to deal with my own hurt and my own trauma, and deal with myself and all the internal stuff that I have to deal with before stepping into something and hurting someone without realizing it. Just because I'm hurt and I've gone through stuff, so I think it was a time that I had to just deal with myself and know myself. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. Because I think for me as well, I think it was, I wasn't a dater either. But I wasn't even, like, my headspace wasn't even there. Yeah. I think university for me was a time really of just self-discovery, as you said. And I really wanted to have fun. And I think I didn't want it to be stolen by being so preoccupied with another person and what they're doing. It was like really my time to enjoy and be free.
I think, like, I really did have fun. Like, I had so much fun as a single, just like doing fun stuff, like going out and traveling and not having to think, gotta text X, Y, and Z or be obsessed with this. It's just like, no, it's just me and my girls, and it's a fun time. And not to take away from the fact that, like, being in a relationship can be fun too. I'm just our own experiences.
And like literally, then I think for me in that regard, I think I was like, when I finished university and I was starting to work, and I was like, I always felt like things were moving in phases, and it's just like that part of like my life, because I always knew I wanted to be in a committed relationship, because I'm just so lazy to date, guys. I feel like, when I see people who are like in a new relationship
Date
every
after
year,
date.
how do you do it?
Energy,
I'm so
energy,
lazy.
energy.
I'm so like
But I was the same. I was the same, and it's a pity that we're similar in
we're
this
very,
regard.
yeah, we
'Cause
are.
I would have loved to hear like a different
Contrast.
perspective. Yeah, it's a pity. But I was also the same. I think even in my prayers, hey, I pray to God and be like, God, I want to meet someone, because I don't think I have the energy to date, and I don't think I can just continually peel layers of myself to another person. Because I have to get to know me,
That's so
it was
true.
like as a single, I think I took so much time getting to know me that having to reveal that to another person, in that way,
Yeah.
it's energy.
It is.
And I think like what you're saying, being in a committed relationship, and being like
with
this
purpose, a relationship with
exactly
purpose.
intention.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, and
It
it's a lot of giving of yourself, and I could not picture myself doing this again and again, and even now I'm just like,
And really,
Lord.
no shade to people who love dating, exploring, and
No, but I think it's like,
talking.
if you're free enough to get to know people and give of yourself in that way and let people
Yeah.
know you, kudos to you. I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, it's a pity we don't have
and
contrasting
we don't see it
views.
the same way.
Yeah.
As well. But I think really the whole idea about singlehood is a time of exploration.
Yeah.
In whatever way you choose to do it, and like that's the point that we're trying to say, is that there's no one way, I think, and I think we should really step away from making it like it's not an enjoyable experience. It's the same way as being in a relationship.
Yeah.
If you're blessed to be in a good relationship, because relationship also in itself can affect you.
Yeah.
So it's really just navigating singlehood for me. Learning to do it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
I'm so
I think I'm
happy.
just having flashbacks of
Yeah.
like my first solo trip.
Yeah.
I think you had one as well.
Yes.
Yeah, around the same time. I went on a solo trip. I was studying overseas, and I went to Amsterdam, and I went there for 3 days, booked the hotel, and I was like, okay, well, since I'm going solo, I like booked all my activities. I had like my itinerary, things I wanted to do by myself, and it was beautiful. And sometimes you think, oh, once you're in a relationship, once you're a mom, once you're this, do you have that time to do that? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you can make the time, but it's not as easy.
Yeah.
And I think things like that, like just traveling by yourself, deciding to just blow your money on whatever, you don't have another person to consider. I mean, it's a bit selfish, but like that's your time to be selfish in a way. So I'm just having like little flashbacks of just me exploring by myself, and yeah, it was fun.
Well, I enjoyed it.
I remember
too.
you also went
I
on your
did.
own solo trip,
I went on a trip to the Big Falls by myself.
and we would send each other pictures. Check. Oh, it was fun.
It was like, and those moments for me were intentional. Like
Yeah.
really, they were so intentional, because I knew, should I get into a relationship, obviously, my energies were going to be like focused on that, because I there's a purpose behind it.
Yeah.
And
You want to
like,
give yourself to that as well.
yeah, so I really wanted to really enjoy my singleness, like just being by myself, not texting, not talking, not trying to vibe, not trying like. And someone was actually saying, being in a relationship, like you gotta explain, like it's a lot, okay? So it really is.
But a lot of beautiful, okay?
Yes.
It's a lot of beautiful.
Yeah. When it's done right.
Yes.
When it's done right. So I think singlehood really does teach you to cherish, the moments that you share just by yourself,
Yeah.
or with your friends, or with your family, and it's not to say that, in relationships you don't get those moments. Of course, like life is full,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
huge. But I think because of the demand and the pressures that relationship comes with, when I look back, and I'm like, I'm so
grateful
that I actually gave myself an opportunity to do all of the fun stuff that I wanted to do by myself. And it's even better now that I have another person
to
that
do.
I can do it.
But it's like also you know what's fun for you.
Yeah.
Because you had that time to experience what was fun for you, and your fun isn't shaped by another's person.
That's so true.
You've had time to sort of figure what you like out, you know. I know I like Mexican food. I know there's some food I'm not trying to eat. So whether you like it or not, I know I'm not going to, you know, it's like you kind of have your own experiences and you get to share that with another person. And it's nice. I enjoy that.
But the other thing, though, I did one, which is also, you know, very important about, you know, singleness. And I think it relates so much to, you know, what I was saying at the beginning about us demonizing it. It's also like a culture that is like within the church.
Wait, I wanted to
Okay,
before we get to church. We get to church, let's start with family. Because I was gonna say that, like, I think after I finished my studies, it was like, okay, when will you marry?
Oh, that question.
You know, it's almost as like your family feels like, okay, we've done our part.
Yeah.
Can you just do yours? And your part, homie, is to get married. Bring us some grandkids and let us just extend the family. Yeah. It's like, we've done what we needed to do. We've raised you. We've gone to school. Where the baby's at.
As if adulthood is like, it's like school, and then you start working, and then it's like, okay, come now.
Yeah.
With the... Yeah. And it's more than that, right? But to what you're asking, I think that pressure, managing that pressure as well, it's tricky.
And I mean, I feel like I don't think it's okay to ask people when they'll get married because you don't know what they're going through or experiencing or what their life plan is. Maybe they don't even want to get married.
Yeah.
And if that's what you want to do, no one should, like you said, demonize you for that being your answer. So I think, there is a pressure. But I guess sometimes it's just you got to respond to it well.
Yeah.
You know, understand the cultural aspects. But I mean, I don't think it's okay to ask people when they're getting married.
And it's not only in family as well. There's pressure also amongst our peers, amongst each other, you know, and especially with social media, like.
Yeah, and I think we're at the age now where everybody's getting married. You're getting married, everybody's.
And everyone's getting pregnant, and everyone's getting.
Yeah, you know? So we're at that age where FOMO, it tends to kick in. And even if you're happy as a single, I think that's where that doubt can come in. Okay, why are you not in a relationship again? So I think we're also at that age where the pressure is rife. Shame.
But you know, I was thinking about this this one time, and I was like, you know, such decisions are really, really like life altering. And I think when you sit down with yourself as a person, whether you're looking at your relationship status, whether you're looking at like your future and what you want, you've really got to analyze it accordingly, being realistic about your life and your goals and certain things you want for yourself.
Accomplish.
I think it's one of those things you can't want it by seeing another person because you don't know the circumstance and the situation. Yeah,
and I think this links back to that Sabawal situation because you don't know what it entails.
Exactly.
And the journey that one has to go on to make it good and healthy because it takes two good and healthy people to have a good and healthy relationship. So I mean, I think going back just to the topic of singleness, that was like my time to be good and healthy. And I don't think you ever arrive. You know, because I think we're all problematic in our own ways. We all have our toxic traits. I don't think anybody ever arrives. Yeah. But that was a time to sort of weed out those things and like problematic thoughts and, you know, that was the time that I had to be good and healthy.
To work on yourself.
And to be, complete within myself because anybody that comes into my life is not going to complete me. They're going to complement me. Yeah. And so I had to be 100 on my own. As that's well true. To make it, you know, to be in a good and healthy relationship. Yeah. Or to just be a good and healthy person in J. You know.
That's so true. That's so true.
Because we all have to experience you in the world. And the better you are and the more time you take to take care of you, the better you show up in the world in general.
And I would say that actually being single really affords you an opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're not under pressure, or you don't have, someone else to consider that way. And it's like time for you to
Focus on
think
yourself.
about you, for you, and about you. Really,
Exactly.
it's the most beautiful selfishness you could ever.
And I think I think if you are single and you're like wanting a relationship so bad, I think you ask yourself those those questions. What do I want? What do I want to change about myself? What is it that I want for my life? And don't be bound by fairy tale, because you can experience fairy tale literally at any age.
Literally.
And I mean, that's something that I had to learn as a single. Is that like, age, I don't have to chase things. Yeah.
And like, just to allow things to progress at their own time. And I mean, this is not to say, like, you only get into a relationship if it's like serious. I feel like there are other people who really date for fun. And
Could never be me.
That is perfectly fine.
Saws.
That is really
not my brand.
That is really perfectly fine. I think we all get into relationships, or we navigate singlehood how we see fit. Yeah. So for some people, it's really like a social experiment. They just want to get to know a lot of people and whatever. So if you've got time and the energy to do that, I say, as long as you're safe and happy, go for it.
Yeah.
But the idea, for this whole conversation is really that there's nothing wrong with being single.
Yeah.
It's such a life.
It's an important
experience.
phase.
Yeah. And so we should really like want to experience it in its fullness. And I think the rushing, to be like a couple
with someone. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like now that I'm on the other side, like, it's great.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I was so ready for it. So like, it didn't alter my life so much, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
what do you like?
It's like, oh, okay.
I don't know. I think going on a journey of being in a relationship of purpose, I think there's so much intentionality with that, and there's so much security that comes with that I think that also is part and parcel of it being very enjoyable and it being like chilled.
Yeah.
Because you kind of know what's happening, you know where you're going, you know what it's about. And you've had time to think also as a single about what you wanted, what you envisioned, what you had time to do your list or whatever of things that you wanted in a person.
Yeah.
And not these fickle things like tall, dark, and handsome, but like some real values and things that...
For some people will be like, dear Lord, I want him 6 feet. I want him
that's not important, because literally he can be 5 feet and do everything right.
That's true. That's true.
But topic for another day. But I'm just saying, like, you had time to figure all of that stuff out, and so you're happy now.
Yeah.
Because you had time to also just figure out what you wanted. And I think for me, like, those things changed a lot.
Yeah.
Like, based on like from career to relationship to whatever, like all of those things that I wanted changed a lot as I was a single, and I had time to sort of shape what I wanted. I'm living it now, but I had the time to do it.
Yeah. We didn't get time to talk about the church and how it treats.
We got time.
I just want to say very, very, very quickly. I feel like now I'm going to be like, you're
about to be spicy, but I got you covered. I'm gonna cover you, sister. I'm gonna cover you.
I'm gonna need the church to just lay back on single women. I think they're just picking on single women a bit too much for my liking. But I feel like, I don't want to say much because I'm feeling a whole lot of shady right now. But anyway, I just want to say, okay, really, I think also perhaps maybe some of the relationship issues that we see, outside really stem from that pressure. And it seems to always just be focused on women. I never heard no man say he attended some conference on how to find a wife.
How to find a wife.
If you know any conference, please let me know, or something you in the comments.
Broadcasted.
Where a man gathered and they were being preached and told how to be husbands and how to find a wife. But women, the single conference, women, wives, like, let us speak.
And I think, you know what? I think these women's conferences, a lot of good comes out of them. I think there is a lot of good that does come out of them. There are a lot of lessons to be learned in your preparation to be married. There is a lot to be learned, and vice versa for men as well.
Yeah, so why?
I'm just saying, Peter, don't come and bring up conferences, Lana, and then people never want to attend a women's conference. Okay, go to the conferences, ladies. There's a lot to learn. It's a beautiful experience. Join in with other sisters. But what I'm saying is, I agree with you. Men also be about that Ephesians 5 life. Okay, love your wife
like Christ loved the church.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speak on it, and live it, experience it, just as everybody else is told to be a Proverbs 31 woman. So yeah,
okay. We'll close it there. It's fine.
Just keep it PG for the church. Yeah, love me some Jesus.
Every time, like, seriously? Okay.
I got you covered though, don't worry.
Fine. Thank you.
Yeah, all in all, I just wanted to say that, like, I think, I enjoyed singleness. I enjoyed singlehood. There were a lot of challenges that I experienced along the way. And I had to work on them, feeling like no one liked me, feeling like no one wanted to be with me. Those are self-esteem issues. And I had to realize that, no, I am worthy and I'm deserving of a relationship. But as much as I am deserving, I must put in the work. If I want a praying person, if I want X, Y, and Z in another person, am I prepared to do those things myself? So if whatever I want in another person, I must be prepared to do by myself. And that was a lesson that I had to learn. Like, if you want this husband that's gonna work so hard and have money and be about Jesus and pray, are you doing those same things? Do I understand what hard work is?
Yeah.
What does it mean to put in the work?
Yeah.
What does it mean to pray, and what does it mean to seek Christ? So before I expect it from another person, I had to do it myself. And that was part of my single journey as well. And it was enjoyable, but I'm ready for other things.
I'm going to say anything more. So, yeah.
Was that a drums mic moment? I'm ready for more, okay?
Yeah, no, I think from my side, really, I really enjoyed, my time alone. And, I was even, like, telling my partner, I was like, really, like, you make me at the best time. Like, because I was just not about it. I was not, like, I was so about myself.
True.
Like, literally. Like,
you were.
I was about myself. I was like, you were so lucky.
Yeah, but it makes, I think, I think also timing is a thing.
Yes, and it's so important also.
And that's why
you gotta be ready.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying don't rush to be with someone and you ain't happy with yourself. Be happy with yourself. Be content, and it does come. If you have not experienced being content yet, it will come. There was a lot of times where I was also like, I'm done. I've experienced all I needed to be experienced as a single, and then I had to learn another lesson. So if you're not yet content, you're not yet happy, you're not yet convinced that you can die alone. Wait a little longer, be content, and then step into that next phase of life.
Yeah. Because in all reality, relationships are, like, in the romantic sense, they are important, right? But, like, they should also be treated, I think, with respect. I think what happens is, we really do, tramp all around them, and we don't respect each other, and that's why you have a whole lot of toxic. Now that's another conversation for another day, but really they require, like you said, two healthy people. So if you're not there, keep riding the singlehood journey
and be content. It's coming.
Receive your blessing.
Amen.
Okay, ladies.
So, ladies, there's gents who watch too. So thank
really?
you.
Oh, welcome, gents. I'm joking.
Welcome to the conference, gents.
Yeah, this is your conference. Okay?
Jokes aside, thank you everyone for tuning in, and we will be back soon with another episode on the Beyond the Surface podcast.
Bye.
Bye.